All right, hello everybody. Anybody who might watch this, I'm just going to do a real quick walkthrough on my San Franciscan SF25 with a Cyclone, not an afterburner, and a Vortex paired up with it. So here's the SF25, and I'll start here at the top. I'll go around to the other side of the roaster actually. Here at the top, the exhaust comes out of the top, obviously, into the Cyclone, the Chaff Cyclone. It's disassembled right now, so we can clean it. It goes out via a Lorenz clamped connection, and there's this fiberglass, you can see, fiberglass tape under there. I'm not sure if there's a proper word for this tape, but I think you know what I'm talking about. You can see it over there kind of fraying on that end. It comes out, it swoops down, it widens out to 8-inch, and there's a Lorenz clamp there going into the Vortex. And here we are. A lot of these connections were leaky when we first turned it on. I think we've got those on the run now. So I'll spare you the entire tour. I'll show you this. This is sad. Oh, look at that. That's where I dropped it. Doesn't really do it justice. That kind of does it justice a little bit. You can see it kinked in, or it pushed into the metal, and then I pulled it back out. It scratched the powder coat out to there. So that now at this point is siliconed, RTV cemented on the inside. I'm thinking I'm going to do something on the outside, whether it's just a band of more cement or something. I'm not sure what I'm going to do there, but it doesn't appear to functionally, doesn't appear to have functionally ruined the machine, but it's still deeply sad. And I got chipped up powder coat there. I'm very bummed. And this is just sad. Bummer. That one's my fault. That's all me. I did that when I was down here. Which one of these? Oh, this one over here. This leg, you won't be able to tell on the video, but this leg is now a 1/2-inch piece of all thread with nuts holding it on the foot versus these other ones, which are I think they were, off the top of my head, I think they were M12s that it shipped with, M12 bolts. So that's a bummer. So when I was fixing that bolt was cross-threaded, I think, when I got it, or seized otherwise, and so I had it laid down, to fix that, and dropped it on the way up. I had penetrating oil on my fingers, and it slipped. This is a problem section all through here. From here, this connection is fine. No leaks here, no leaks here. This is a leaky connection. This, I think I have sealed up at this point, this end, but I'm not sure what's going on because it leaks from the top. Anyway, whatever. I have done my best. I think that this CSST, I don't know if it's still called CSST in this application, but whatever, this corrugated stainless steel tubing, my assumption is that there's a leak back in here, but I don't know that for sure, and that's sort of where my level of expertise runs out. I do, as of today, still have a leak, I think, here at this connection. That's obviously not your fault or problem. This is kind of a nasty, thing to disassemble. You just sort of get water everywhere, so I'm stalling, but I just need to tear it apart and redo that. One suggestion I have is that I've already added is a butterfly clamp, a butterfly valve or some sort of valve here, because that makes it a lot easier to actually empty this device. I know that this guy here exists, but somehow we would have to. There was no plan for getting this to drainage. I'm not sure if this is meant to go to an outside sump that would pump the water out of here and into the drain at the end of a roasting day or what. But anyway, the way we're doing it right now is I just got a hold of this butterfly clamp, and I'm sure you're familiar with these, just a triclover butterfly, and that way I can close it off and wheel it away to empty it at the end of a production cycle. as noted or as discussed, this was a little confusing at the beginning. I figured we had to have this all the way open, and as a result, it came whipping out of here real fast, you know, splashing kind of all over the cabinet and the wall behind and stuff. Okay. This is my, let's go around to the front again. This is how we ended up connecting. This is a piece of intermediate ducting, which I'll show you later. That's how I'm getting my cooling air in, and it is essentially just a 10-inch Lorenz clamped connection. You can see the water stain here from dirty old coffee water making its way up and then dripping down. It's kind of nasty. Yeah, so this is dry right now, but yeah, when we start roasting, it just gets all wet and it drips and drains out. So that's not great. I'm thinking I'm just going to have to use foam rubber or something to seal that up. This is getting to be a long video, so I'll try and wrap it up. This is my cooling air, and this is how we ended up going. For the record, nobody cares about this probably or whatever, but the problem I was having was that these 90s, or one problem I was having with Alliance was that these 90s, the ones they initially sent me, were flanged on one end for the clamp connection, but at the other end they were widened, but only widened enough to connect to a machine, not wide enough to sleeve, because this system, I don't know if you're probably familiar with this system, it's set up to be able to sleeve. There's a sleeved connection option, and they weren't that wide. So there was flange on one end and no flange on the other. So Chris Cassidy sent me 3 more 90s with flanges on both ends, and then we were able to very simply connect it up. It comes around behind the Cyclone and around. It bends up. There's a spot for a future sample roaster, a 4-inch connection with a plug, just a cap, for a 4-inch, for a sample roaster in the future. And it feeds in right there. Now, you'll note that per Michael's suggestion, I think it was Michael's suggestion, I don't remember if it was Vortex or Alliance that suggested that the cooling air should go in above the Vortex. Amy indicated that maybe it shouldn't have. I don't know, and I don't particularly care as long as the system works properly. I think I've been pretty honest with everybody in this project that I have some skills and I have some smarts and know-how, but I try to be honest about where that know-how ends, and this is definitely an area where I have little. So I don't know if you're kind of seeing how my stack then leaves the building. I don't know if this is correct and how it should have been set up, but this is the material I have and this is how it is set up. So thank you for watching. Sorry the rest of my roasting room is a big mess. Let me know if there's any other questions.